And hello everyone, this is Daniel with the Legacy of Daniel show or podcast. I have a topic of interest here that I'd like to discuss, and it's something that we all are in some way involved with and participate with. This AI revolution that has swept society right off its feet is now pulling us deeper and deeper into the bottomless pit of vanity. And along the way, we're seeing all the other sunken ships that have taken up this trek of, I'm not really sure how to explain this, but some sort of automated attempt, technological attempt to bring about some sort of sophistication to the world to somehow enhance our lives. In some respect, there has been a great deal of efficiencies, productivity, especially to the corporate world, logistics systems, being able to track and properly order product and inventory, which the corporate world has greatly improved upon. Obviously, workflow and has improved and makes managing large data sets and retrieving information and also inputting information easier, more efficient. Being able to understand data has become a lot easier, efficient, and maybe we can also start looking at data in different ways, improving the various systems that we all operate, whether just through our personal lives or through business research. So there's an abundance of potential that can come from any form of technological revolution. But it seems that this automation, this AI, these learning language models have not yet quite lived up to supposedly their enormous potential that they're bringing to society and somehow improving the human condition. I have not seen that yet, and I don't think we will, because the amount of energy that would be required would be far more than what we can handle, and would take probably many decades of building nuclear reactors to power all the robots and automation and whatever other daily tasks people want to hand off, whether in personal lives or the corporate world. Right now, this reminds me a lot like MySpace. And that's how far I think we have kind of fallen backwards with this automation, this AI revolution. All we have are data centers holding who knows how many pictures and videos of useless forms of just information and various forms of animation that are just going to forever just continue sinking into the eternal bottomless pit of vanity. And they're going to just sit at the bottom and rust with all the other ships that have been hit with the torpedo of vanity. And that is what I believe has already happened to this AI and all these learning language models. The only difference now is that there is an abundance of progression, and there are enormous amounts of money now involved, and this can very easily gather the energy and resources to continue this deep dive into the bottomless pit of vanity. Right now we are just continuing to the bottom. It's like everyone is trying to find their way to the bottom first. And the only way out is to come to the understanding that this AI, these learning language models, 90% I would say is just completely and totally useless. Currently, these models are, in my opinion, trying to work their way through the errors of society and the human condition. And as a result, it is just giving us information, feeding off of our daily tasks that are a result of decades of an eroding society and of eroding the human condition. I don't really see much really coming from this AI. The only benefit that can come from it is if this somehow can be used in a way to ultimately nurture more creativity through society, and so that there's more room for participation and opportunities, not only to participate but also to bring to bring products to the marketplace and to start businesses. And yes, with this AI you can start a lot of businesses. You can from just selling digital photos from AI rendered images to getting a 3D computer and starting who knows what. So there are possibilities, but something that is going to completely transform society, I don't see this quite happening with AI, because again, I think it's just mostly feeding off of the eroding condition of the human condition and the failures of society over the past 60 years. Another point is the infrastructure that this AI requires is absolutely massive, and I think it's something that we as a society have never really have dealt with before. The amount of energy and resources that these data centers are using just to house more pictures at the bottom of the pit of vanity is really, I'm not really sure how to think of that. So instead of investing into infrastructure that our society needs, roads, bridges, better subways, maintaining the waterways, parks, making sure that water can be going to farms, energy can be affordable instead of expensive, and even possibly looking into other infrastructure related projects that can be brought into the possibility of being constructed, have to be shelved because of all the resources that these are going to be requiring. So as a society, I would say we need to really start determining on how we want to use AI. And if we truly want to use it and really use it to its full potential and gain from it, then we got to put a limit on all these useless pictures and videos and other various forms of animation that people are using. And yes, you do have to pay for a lot of stuff, but the amount of money that you have to pay to just develop an infinite number of pictures is kind of small, and the amount of resources that you're consuming is quite large just to, again, sink to the bottomless pit of vanity with all your AI generated photos that you probably won't really do anything with. It's just going to sit at the bottom of the bottomless pit of vanity with MySpace and all the other failed technologies. In order to really fully grasp potential of this AI is to greatly curb the use of it from vanity to productivity, efficiency, and the only way to do that is really to, in some way, start kind of almost reverse engineering AI. So those are my kind of thoughts, and I know a lot of people use AI greatly, and I've been experimenting with it and using it for some different projects. But I'm trying to use it in a way so in the future I don't need to really use it as much. So these are my thoughts after watching a video on ChatGPT, and I know a lot of people may have some different thoughts, opinions, but to me it just seems that this really isn't living up to much. I do believe there is an abundance of potential, but the amount of resources that it would require right now and the sacrifices that we as a society would have to make to reach that potential are not really working out and aren't really making any sense. So until we can come to an understanding that this has to be used for good, for improving the human condition, improving society, getting us to the next understanding of our existence, and really pushing forward to develop some groundbreaking technologies that can be utilized throughout all society, not just deeper research, but truly advancing the understanding of the human body, human mind, developing unique and new ways to perhaps transport us through society, to remove ourselves from fossil fuels or other things, natural gas. There's an abundance of ways that we can be using this, but using it to make pictures and useless animation videos are great for entertainment, for here and there, but mostly it's just going to be forgotten and sink to the bottomless pit of vanity. And now I'm losing my train of thought here. So I'm going to basically just end this video here, and I'll continue this discussion in some other videos.